प्रोफेशनल ट्रेनिंग और इस लेक्चर में हम प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट फ्रेमवर्क के बारे में पढ़ेंगे। प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट फ्रेमवर्क का मतलब ये है कि ऑल द बेसिक नॉलेज ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट और वो तमाम कॉन्सेप्ट जो आगे रिपीट होंगे थ्रू आउट द नॉलेज एरियाज थ्रू आउट द ट्रेनिंग, वो हम इस प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट के लेक्चर में कर लेंगे। अगर उन कॉन्सेप्ट्स में आप लोगों को कोई इशू है या आप लोगों की कोई कन्फ्यूजन है तो मेक श्योर कि आप वो चैट बॉक्स में पूछ लें ताकि उन इश्यूज को अभी सॉल्व कर दिया जाए और आगे तमाम लेक्चर्स में आप लोगों को कोई इशू ना हो। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। आज का एजेंडा ये है कि हम सबसे पहले प्रोजेक्ट्स, प्रोग्राम्स एंड पोर्टफोलियोज के दरमियान डिफरेंस को देखेंगे। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डिफरेंस है क्योंकि ज़्यादातर लोग ये समझते हैं कि दीज आर ऑल द सेम थिंग्स, और पाकिस्तान में भी जो ज़्यादातर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं उनके पास भी इस चीज़ की क्लैरिटी नहीं होती। वो बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम लेवल के जो एक्टिविटीज़ हैं उनको प्रोजेक्ट्स कह रहे होते हैं और बहुत सारी पोर्टफोलियोज लेवल की एक्टिविटीज़ को प्रोग्राम कह रहे होते हैं। तो दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग फॉर ऑल द प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट प्रोफेशनल्स और द प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट एस्पिरेंट्स that they are able to distinguish between all these three factors, all these three terms। तो ये बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है और इसी चीज़ को हम इस चीज़ में आज की ट्रेनिंग में मज़ीद क्लैरिफाई करेंगे। देन विल सी द रीजंस ऑफ इनिशिएटिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट्स, के प्रोजेक्ट्स को क्यों इनिशिएट किया जाता है। वाई वी कैन नॉट एक्सेल विदाउट स्टार्टिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट, और प्रोजेक्ट की टर्मिनोलॉजी इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों हो गई है आज के दिनों में, ये हम देखेंगे। और दैट इज़ द रीज़न ऑफ इनिशिएशन ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट। उसके अलावा हम देखेंगे प्रोजेक्ट को क्लोज क्यों किया जाता है, हम कि क्या वजूहत होती हैं। एक तो नॉर्मल सिनेरियो है कि आपके प्रोजेक्ट का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव था या जो गोल था वो आपने मीट कर लिया और आपका जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो उस आउटपुट को बना चुका है, उस प्रोडक्ट को बना चुका है, डिलीवर कर चुका है, मार्केट में आप उसको फ्लोट कर चुके हैं, तो आपका प्रोजेक्ट क्लोज हो जाएगा। दैट इज़ अ नॉर्मल सिनेरियो। बट कुछ अब नॉर्मेलिटीज़ भी होती हैं जो प्री मेच्योर प्रोजेक्ट को क्लोज कर दिया जाता है या प्रोजेक्ट को टर्मिनेट किया जाता है। वो तमाम रीजंस भी हम आज के लेक्चर्स में देखेंगे कि क्यों प्रोजेक्ट्स को टर्मिनेट करना भी ज़रूरी होता है और क्यों बाज़ औक़ात प्रोजेक्ट्स को कंप्लीट करना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए नुकसानदेह होता है। Then we see OPM, organizational structures, OPAs, and enterprise environmental factors. Starting from the basic introduction, PMI Project Management Institute, ये USA based organization है. They are providing different certifications. Uh, uh, at this time, बहुत सारी certifications उनके under their umbrella they are offering, जिनमें सबसे पहले CAPM है, जो associate level की project management की certification है। All those participants या all those candidates जिनके पास relevant experience या उन 3 सालों का experience नहीं है, दे कैन गो फॉर द CAPM। ठीक है, क्योंकि PMP के लिए जो एक मस्ट चीज़ है वो है कि आप लोगों के पास एटलीस्ट 3 इयर्स का वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए इन प्रोजेक्टाइज्ड एनवायरनमेंट। आपने किसी प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर जो है वो 3 साल लगाए हों, दैट इज़ कंपल्सरी फॉर यू टू बिकम एलिजिबल फॉर द PMP। अगर आपके पास वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है देन यू कैन गो फॉर द CAPM। CAPM जो एग्ज़ाम है उसकी फ़ीस भी कम है और उसकी जो कम्प्लेक्सिटी लेवल है वो भी PMP की निस्बत बकदरे बहुत कम है। So that is CAPM is very much recommended for all the fresh graduates या दो जो अभी अपने फाइनल ईयर सेमेस्टर्स में हैं, वो अपने आप को बाकी कैंडिडेट से अलग करने के लिए CAPM की सर्टिफिकेशन कर सकते हैं। जब आप PMP के लिए एलिजिबल हो जाएंगे आफ्टर 3 इयर्स तो ऑब्वियसली यू कैन गो फॉर द PMP। तो जो लोग CAPM के थ्रू PMP की तरफ जाते हैं उनके लिए ज़रा आसानी होती है क्योंकि उन्होंने एक बेसिक लेवल की सर्टिफिकेशन की होती है और उनको एक तो PMI का जो एग्जामिनिंग क्राइटेरिया है वो उनको पता होता है, उनका एग्जामिनिंग स्ट्रक्चर पता होता है, और सेकंड जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल उनकी स्ट्रांग होते हैं, दैट्स व्हाई दे हैव क्लियर द CAPM एग्जाम। कुछ लोग जो डायरेक्टली PMP की तरफ जाते हैं उनके लिए इश्यूज उस सूरत में होते हैं अगर तो उनके पास PMP का एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है या उनके पास उन्होंने किसी स्टैंडर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम नहीं किया। या स्टैंडर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मतलब ये है कि एक प्रोफेशनल इन्वायरमेंट में जहाँ पे टर्मिनोलॉजीज का इस्तेमाल हो रहा होता है। होता क्या है कि जो लोग तमाम एक्सपीरियंस वाले होते हैं वो तमाम काम कर रहे होते हैं जो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट प्रोफेशनल कह रहे के मुताबिक करना चाहिए, बट जो स्टैंडर्ड टर्मिनोलॉजीज हैं या स्टैंडर्ड कॉन्सेप्ट है उनके साथ अलाइनमेंट में उनको इशू होता है। लोकल लेवल पे वो काम किसी और तरीके से कर रहे होते हैं, उस डॉक्यूमेंट को कोई और नाम दे रहे होते हैं, और स्टैंडर्डाइज या PMI की तरफ से उस डॉक्यूमेंट को कोई और नाम दिया जाता है और उसका प्रोसेस डिफरेंट होता है। तो ये यहाँ पे जो मिस अलाइनमेंट है इसकी वजह से जो है वो लोगों को जो है PMP क्लियर करने में इशू आता है। कि लोगों के पास एक्सपीरियंस भी होता है, उनके पास अफोर्डेबिलिटी भी होती है, और उनका जो है वो जो नीयत होती है वो भी होती है, बट स्टिल दे फेल टू क्लियर द पीएमपी एग्जाम बिकॉज ऑफ द अलाइनमेंट इशूज। तो ये बहुत ही ज़रूरी है कि आप अपने तमाम कॉन्सेप्ट्स और आप तमाम एक्सपीरियंस को अलाइन करें विद द स्टैंडर्डाइज नॉलेज एंड स्टैंडर्डाइज टर्मिनोलॉजीज, एंड दैट इज़ द बेसिक पर्पस ऑफ द पीएमपी। कि अगर आप एक पीएमपी को देखेंगे तो एक पीएमपी की डेफिनेशन किसी भी टर्मिनोलॉजी की, चाहे वो स्कोप की डेफिनेशन कर रहा है, चाहे वो स्कोप क्रीप की कर रहा है, एवरी डेफिनेशन इज अलाइंड एंड स्टैंडर्डाइज विद अदर पीएमपी जो कि आपको दुनिया के कहीं किसी भी कोने में मिलेंगे। देन दे आर स्पेशलाइज्ड ट्रेनिंग, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट की ट्रेनिंग है, आरएमपी, एजाइल की ट्रेनिंग है, स्केजुलिंग की ट्रेनिंग है, प्रोफेशनल बिजनेस एनालिस्ट की ट्रेनिंग है, पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट है, एंड प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट है। दीज आर द हाई लेवल ट्रेनिंग जो कि पीएमआई ऑफर करता है। इसके अलावा पीएमआई बहुत से माइक्रो क्रीडेंशियल्स भी ऑफर करता है। माइक्रो क्रीडेंशियल्स का मतलब ये है कि छोटे छोटे ट्रेनिंग्स या छोटे छोटे पीडीयूज की ट्रेनिंग जो है वो भी ऑफर करता है। पीडीयूज क्या होते हैं? पीडीयूज प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट यूनिट। जब भी कभी आप पीएमपी का एग्जाम क्लियर करते हैं, देन यू हैव टू अर्न 60 पीडीयूज इन द नेक्स्ट 3 ईयर्स। अगले जो तीन तीन साल हैं उसके अंदर आपको 60 पीडीओज रन करने पड़ते हैं। दिस इज द एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया टू रिन्यू योर पीएमपी सर्टिफिकेशन। जो पीएमपी की सर्टिफिकेशन है ये हर 3 साल बाद रिन्यू करवाने की जरूरत पड़ती है, और उसके लिए जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है वो मैंने आप लोगों के साथ शेयर कर दिया। उस वो रिक्वायरमेंट कैसे पूरी करते हैं? उसके लिए पीडीयूज होते हैं, उसके लिए प्रोफेशनल आप लोगों की ट्रेनिंग्स होती हैं, लेक्चर्स होते हैं, आपका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस होता है, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा। एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या है पीएमपी के लिए? देयर आर टू ऑप्शंस कि अगर तो आप लोगों के पास एक 4 ईयर डिग्री है, यानी एफएससी के बाद अगर आप लोगों ने बैचलर डिग्री की हुई है, विच इज़ बेसिकली योर 16 ईयर्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, तो आप लोगों के उसके बाद जो है 16 ईयर एजुकेशन के बाद आपके पास एटलीस्ट 3 ईयर्स का प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट का एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए। ठीक है, 3 ईयर का प्रोजेक्ट एक्सपीरियंस का मतलब ये है कि जो पीएमआई की वेबसाइट कहती है, डेट इज 4500 आवर्स। ठीक है, कि 4500 आवर जो है उनको 3 ईयर्स के अंदर कन्वर्ट किया गया है। या तो आपके पास 3 ईयर्स का एक्सपीरियंस हो, या आपके पास 4500 आवर्स का जो है वो एक्सपीरियंस हो ऑफ लीडिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट। और उसके अलावा आपकी जो कंपल्सरी रिक्वायरमेंट है, डेट यू हैव सर्टिफाइड ट्रेनिंग ऑफ 35 आवर्स ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट एजुकेशन। कि आपने कहीं से जो है वो 35 आवर्स की जो है वो ट्रेनिंग ली हो। ये ट्रेनिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट जो है वो अ, आपकी पूरी हो जाती है अगर आप लोग जो है एक इस तरह की ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीट करें, देन यू कैन इजीली गो फॉर द project member professional training. Okay, we have a requirement we can go for the English version of this lecture. So Mr. Joshua will try to execute this lecture in English. So I hope you get the main or fruitful thing from out of this lecture. So coming back to the lecture, the second option for the eligibility criteria is that if you don't have the bachelor degree, it means that you have not completed 4 year degree after your 12 year of education. So in that case, if you have a secondary degree education, for example, if you have a diploma or associate degree, then the experience requirement is 5 years. So that is more than what you require in the bachelor degree. So if you have a bachelor degree, then you only need a experience of 3 years. But if you have a associate degree or secondary degree, then you must have a degree of experience of at least 5 years. Okay, and the education training requirement is same, that is 35 hours. So requirement is same in both scenarios. What is the fees? There are two ways to get yourself registered for the PMP exam. First is the membership way, the second is the non-membership way. So everyone, I hope here in this lecture is non-member. Non-member means they are not a member of the PMI. So there is a specific fee for becoming a member of PMI. So that fee is very nominal. So you can easily pay that fee. I think that fee is $100. So if you pay that $100, so your PMP exam fee will reduce from $555 to $284. So that is one way of reducing your PMP fee, that you just become a member, and by becoming a member you get a lot of benefits, such as you get a link to the free seminars. You can also access multiple books that are free for you to download, otherwise you have to pay for it. And by becoming a member, the examination fee of the PMP reduced too. $284. So that is one way of doing the PMP at low cost. So some people might be saying that it not that much beneficial, but let me tell you that in some cases, if you fail the PMP exam in the first attempt, then the reattempt fee of the PMP is also reduced for the members. Okay, so that is the benefit of being a member of the PMI. So if you fail the PMP exam, you have to pay much less than the non-members to retake the exam. So that is another benefit of the PMI membership. So I hope everything is clear up till now. And if anyone has an issue with the language, please let me know. I'll try to address his or her issue. Okay, so coming to the formal definition of the project, that is the first concept of the project management. What is a project? So there is a two things in this terminology: the project and the management. Management is very common terminology. We have been learning about this concept from the very first day. You have to become a leader, you have to become a manager. So there is a difference between leaders and manager. We are very well aware of the differences, but the main concept here is projects. Everything in the PMP, everything in the PMI revolves around this one thing, that is projects. So we have to be clear about the definition of the project and the characteristics of the project. What set of activities are called a project? How can we call something as a project? So that is a very basic definition. So the difference between leadership and management, that is very well aware. We are very well aware of that, and we will also see more differences, more clarity between these two terminology in the upcoming session. But for now, you have to understand that in order to become a good project manager, you must have both qualities. You must have leadership qualities and you must have management qualities. It is not like that you have to be leader and you don't need to be management. No, both are compulsory. In order to manage tasks, you have to manage manager. In order to manage people, you have to be a good leader. So both are very compulsory qualities for a project manager. So a project manager must have leadership qualities and he must also have the management qualities. So this is the concept for this time. In the coming lecture, we will see more detailed version of the differences between uh, a good leader and a good manager. Coming back to the definition of the project, what is a project? So please keep your notebooks to you and write the definition of the project. The formal definition of the project is: it is a temporary endeavor with a definite start and end date and a unique outcome at the end of the result. Okay, so it is a temporary endeavor. Temporary means that it must have a life. You cannot call something with an with an indefinite life a project. A project must have a start and end date. It means it must have a duration. So every set of activities must have a duration. That is one characteristics of a set of activity to be called as a project. And the second thing, it must create a unique output, unique outcome, or unique result at the end of the set of activity. Unique means that particular product or the service or the result is not being provided or not being created before this set of activities. So that is called the unique nature. You might be thinking that the a housing society in which multiple houses are being constructed, they cannot be unique, because every house has the same architecture, every house has the same design, every house might have same raw material. So how that can be a unique? So that's a very good question. But the answer is, some aspect of that particular house or the project would be different. For example, the resources working on that particular house would be different from the previous house. The location of that house would be different. The face of that house would be different. The dimensions of that house could be different. So these are the some different parameters of particular outcome of the or the output that are different from one another. So that's how one project is different from the other project. And a housing society is a set of projects that can be called as a program, because that is a multiple projects being completed under one umbrella. So that is the definition of the project. So coming back to the slide, please note down the definition of the project. A project can be defined as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or services or results. Okay, So there is difference between product output, outcome, and results. Okay, result is basically the combination of your output, outcome, and the impact. These are the three different things that we'll explore in detail in the coming lecture. So you might be saying that I am saying same thing in the multiple time: output, outcome, results, services. These are the different things. Okay, there is a very minor difference between them, but all these are the different things, and the difference between them is very important to understand for the high success ratio of the PMP exam. Okay, and obviously the output can be tangible and intangible. By tangible, we mean that the physical nature of the output, for example, the mobile phone, the laptop, the screen, the AC, the car, anything that can you touch is tangible. Other or intangible means that it cannot be touched. For example, the brand value of the company. Okay, if you run a marketing campaign, the output of the marketing campaign is enhanced brand value of the company. So there is nothing physical in the brand values. Okay, you cannot physically define the brand value of the company, but it's a very highly reputed output, and it's in demand output that the company always try to get. So I hope everything is clear up till now. Please, if you have any issue, please do let me know in the chat box. I'll be waiting for your question for the next 2 minutes. Okay, so Miss Tanvi has asked that how to become a PMI member. Okay, so there is a website pmi.org. You go to there, and there is an option for becoming a member. Just go to the website and click on become a member, and you will have to pay the fee, and then you will become a member. Okay, it will take maximum 3 to 5 days. They process your fees, and they process your credentials, and then they will assign you a PMI ID, and then you become official member of the PMI, and that membership is valid for 1 year. So after 1 year you have to renew their membership. Okay, I hope I answered the question. Please let me know if you any of one of you have any question. Otherwise I can proceed with the next content of the lecture. Okay, if no one has a question, then should I proceed to the next content? Please comment if I need to go to the next content of the lecture. Okay, thank you, civil engineer, for the comment. So let's move forward to the next content of the lecture. I think I everything is clear up till now. So next definition is mega project. So it is very clear about the what are the projects and what are the mega projects. So PMI has a very clear distinction between these two things. What about Okay, Mubassar, you are very right about the Zoom link, but the issue is that if I create a Zoom link, then obviously I will not be able to interact with multiple people at the right time, because for the Zoom link, people are not connecting on my LinkedIn channel and my Facebook page. So that would be difficult for me, because many people have subscribed me already, and it is very difficult to get their link or get their email addresses. So we'll work on that inshallah ta'ala in the next lecture. We'll try to use the Zoom link or Microsoft Team for the lectures. Okay. So coming back to the lecture, what are the mega projects? A project that is a standardized definition. A project that has a budget of over $10 million. So any project that should have a project budget of over more than $10 million, and it should last more than a year. So that is the duration of the project. It should have more than 1 year duration and involve more than 200 people in team and resources from the different countries. Different countries mean that they must have a people from all over the globe, and they might be utilizing the virtual teams. So that is the definition of the mega project. First, the budget should be more than $10 million. Second, the duration of the project that should be more than 1 year, and it should involve more than 200 people in virtual mode. Okay, so that means that all over the globe people must be involved in that project in every capacity. In any capacity, they might be working as a consultant, they might be working as a software programmer, but they must be part of the project. So that is the definition of the mega project. So in the PMP exam, you won't be asked about the mega projects definition, but you must be aware of the definition so that you can be more aware of the terminology. Is project manager part of IT team or is it? Okay, Tanvi, basically the project manager is the head of all the teams. Project manager does not have to be the IT guy. Okay, so project manager, he leads the IT department, the finance department, the procurement department. So every department, finance, resource, procurement, development means that the actual technical team. It could be the IT team, it could be the construction team, whatever the nature of the project, the development team. Every team has a own head, that has its own head of the department, and the project manager is the manager of all those heads. So project manager is not a specific technical guy or specific financial guy, but he must have the capabilities to coordinate and align the effort of all the department. So project manager is not the part of the IT team. But in agile projects, project manager can be the part of the IT team, because in agile project management, the definition of definition of the project management has changed. In traditional project manager is the head of all the bosses, but in agile project manager might be the senior developer of the organization. He's working on the software, he's programming, but part time he's also working as a project manager. So that is the difference between agile project management and traditional project management. If you are asking question from traditional project management perspective, so project manager is not part of the IT team. But if you are asking from the software development or agile project management perspective, so our project manager is part of the IT development team. Okay, so that is the answer to your question. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, civil engineer. I'll explain you the agile project management in the coming lecture. I'll tell you the difference between the different project management methodologies. There is traditional project management. Traditional project management has different names such as waterfall methodologies, pre-planned methodologies. Okay, so the predictive methodologies. These are the different methodologies of the project management. Then we have iterative, incremental, and agile project management. We'll also cover the differences between all these methodology in the coming lecture. Any other question, please? Okay. So we have covered the definition of the mega project. So can you please tell me if the scenario written here is a definition of the project or not? Your boss steps into your office and asks that the system has crashed. Can you figure out and fix it? So can you please write in the chat box if the scenario written here is the definition of project or not? So you have 3 minutes. Please write your answer if this current scenario is project or not. So I'm waiting for your answers. Please let me know about what you think about the current scenario. Is this the current scenario written here is the definition or example of a project or not? Civil engineer, Tanvi, anyone? Mubashir, Joshua, anyone please write your answer. Okay, Mubashir Khan says no, no, it's not a project. Civil engineer, yes, because it has specific tasks, will have a specific duration and obviously a specific outcome after completion. Okay, anyone else? So I must encourage all of you to please participate in this conversation because it will help you to learn. Okay, Umair says it's not a project. Okay, good. Anyone else? So I'm waiting for the last comment. Please let me know. Anyone, please, if it's a project or not. Anyone, the last comment. I'm waiting for the last comment. Anyone, please. Okay. So I think I have to disclose the answer. So it's a project, okay, but it can be more than one project. Okay, it's a confirmation that at least it is a one project, but it can be more than one project. This is described as per the PMP things. Okay, it's a project. Yes, civil engineer it's a project, but it can be more than one project because if you read the statement clearly, there is a purpose in this statement, and the purpose is that the system has crashed. Okay, that is the goal. Yeah, you have to fix the crashed system, but there are two things. First you have to figure out and then you have to fix it, but it depends on the nature of the issue. If the issue is very big, then it can be two projects. First project is figuring out what happened, and the next project fixing the problem. That there are two projects. But if the problem is very small, for example, if the Microsoft Word has crashed, Microsoft Office has crashed, so it's a very small problem, so it is a one project. In the same project you have to figuring out, you have also has to fix that problem, so that is one project, but it is a project. So that is very good definition from you, civil engineer. Thank you. And Mubashir and Humair, if the statement is clear now, please let me know if you clearly understand that difference between if it is a project or not. So that is a very good contribution from all of you guys. And if you please contributing like this, I assure you that you will learn more. Because if you stay quiet, you might miss a lot of problems, a lot of concept, and you might understand a lot of things differently. So in project management, one thing is very important, that is communication. Like Tanvi already asked that the project manager is part of the team or not. So and I told her that project manager is not part of the team. So if project manager is not part of any team, then what is the responsibility of the project manager? The project manager responsibility is communication. So as a project manager, you must be a good communicator. You must be able to understand your team's emotion. You must be able to practically exercise the emotional intelligence. Every time it has a same output, some predecessor procedure, some same detection technique. Okay, Mubashir, you are right, but he has not mentioned that the problem has occurred already. If the statement says that your boss steps into your office and asks that the previous problem has again occurred again, then you can say that it's not a project because it's the same problem. But the statement says that the system has crashed and they have no idea what happened. So there is a unique goal that it has not occurred already. So it could be possible that it is a new problem. Yes, manager has not given him any time, because in a practical scenario the project manager has to give the time. Okay, boss in this scenario is project sponsor or customer. He wants some output, and as a project manager you have to understand the whole scenario, and you have to tell the project sponsor or the boss that look, this is the problem and it will take 3 days. So that is the next step in which you will negotiate with the boss, and you will tell him the nature of the problem and how many days it will take to it will take to solve that problem. Okay. Yes, it's not operation. I already told as per the answer to the Mubassir Khan that operational work keep occurring again. And if the statement says that the same problem has occurred, then it's a operational work, because the word same is there, and same means that it has already occurred in the previous time, and you know the answer, you know what happened, and you can actually solve that problem. Okay. So if everything is clear, should I proceed? Okay. So coming to the next point, why the projects are initiated. Okay. The main concept that you need to understand here is the concept of the change. Every time there is a need for change, there is a project. Okay. The change could be of any nature. It could be a regulatory requirement. It could be your company organization's requirement, or it could be the nature of the business environment. For example, if we take the example of 2019 and or 2020, start of the 2020, the COVID-19 era, it was a regulatory requirement. The regulatory requirement forced many organizations to practice the physical isolation mode, practice the social distancing mode, and the use of virtual team for the execution of their operation. So that was the regulatory requirement. Okay, and in that era, we saw many companies that were sealed by the organizations, or sorry, by the government, for not following the procedures. So that was a regulatory requirement. That is also a change. In order to comply the requirement, many organizations initiated the project. For example, if you are working in a traditional organization that have never worked online, and in the 2020 when the COVID-19 arrived in Pakistan or in Asia, you have to go to the online, and that is the project. The project is the transition from uh, local mode or the physical mode to the online mode. That is a project, and for that project you have to figure out everything, what mode you will be using, what software you be using, and how the people will use that software. If you need any training for your employees, that is the modalities of the that particular project, and you need to implement that change through the project. So projects are basically are started or implemented to implement the change. Every time there is a change, there is a project. Okay, and the projects are always take you from current state to the future state. Okay, for example, in this slide you see a diagram, and there is a graph, and on the x-axis you see the time, and on the y-axis you see the business value. Business value is basically defined in terms of, mostly in terms of the profitability. Okay, This particular slide is talking in terms of the profitability. And if you see in the middle between time axis and the business value axis, you will see there are two states. The first state is the current state and the second state is the future state. And you see the future state is above than the current state. It means that the future state is providing you more business value as compared to the current value, current state. And in the x-axis you see that the future state is on the more far away on the x-axis than the current state. It means that every time you execute a project, it will take some time. That is why it is future state is on the far right of the x-axis, and it is also on the far above of the y-axis. So future state will take some time to be implemented, and future state will provide you more business value. So in the current state, if you see that there is a hierarchical structure, and it means that at this time there are two operational unit working in the organization. For example, if you are working in a coca-cola manufacturing bottle company, at this time there are only two machines that are working, and they are producing only, let's say, 5,000 bottles per day. And each unit, there are two units in the company, and each unit is producing 2,500 bottles. So the demand has increased. People are demanding more bottles, and for that coca-cola company has to introduce a new manufacturing unit. So that is basically the future state. And the future state, in the future state you see that there is an other unit installed. So instead of two unit, now you have three units, and for the installation of that third unit you need a project. So that is a project, that is a change that is implemented by the project. Okay, so projects always drive a change. Mutahir Mohsin is asking what is the basic difference between agile and traditional project management. Okay, traditional project management is old way of doing a work. Agile is the new way of doing a work. For example, if we take the example of a construction industry, the construction industry is not that much changing. Okay, we are seeing the same design of the house, we're seeing the same technology in the construction industry. That is the field that has not changed as compared to the IT industry. In the IT industry, we see different softwares, different languages, different platforms emerging with the passage of time, and the whole scenario is changing very rapidly. So, agile project management basically follows or favors the change. On the other hand, traditional project management, it opposes the change. Change means during the execution of project nothing can be changed. That is the main methodology, that is the main concept of the traditional project management. On the other hand, agile project management, in the agile project management you can change the project during the execution of project. That is the basic difference between agile project management and traditional project management. I hope I answered the question, Mutahir. A civil engineer asks, installation of third machine has the same characteristics as we observed when installation of first and second. Civil engineer, we are not sure about that, because it could be possible that the first two machines were installed 20 or 30 years ago, and after the 10 or 30 years ago, the technology of the machines have increased, have changed. The new machines and new better performing machines have come into the market. So we don't know about that. So, but one thing is for sure, that the third machine is installed, third unit is installed, and that is for the purpose of increasing the business value of the organization. Why it is a project? Because the installation will take some time, most probably 6 months, 1 year. It will have certain set of activities. For example, you need to procure the machine, you need to specify the characteristics of the machine. You will need more human resource for working on that machine. You might need some more power in your plant for that particular machine. So these are the different activities that could be part of the installation of third machine project. Okay, I hope every question is answered. Mutahir, I have not received any answer from you. Is the difference between agile and traditional project management is clear to you? We'll also cover the difference in detail in the next lectures. Okay, coming to the next lecture, next slide. The why projects are initiated. The first thing is meeting a regulatory requirement that I have already given you a example. For example, the COVID-19 restrictions. Okay, any new government policies or the laws from the government, that could also be the reason for initiating a project. The second thing is meeting a satisfying a stakeholder requirement. So stakeholder concept is clear to a lot of people, but we'll see the definition in detail in the next lecture. A stakeholder requirement, it could be your customer. For example, customer need a new mobile phone, the market demands a new mobile phone. Your competitor is about to launch a new mobile phone. For that, you also need to launch a better mobile phone before your competitor does. So that is the also requirement, example of starting a project. The third is implementing or change or business or technological strategies. For example, you were working on a SAP ERP system, but now the SAP has launched new functionalities in the software, and you need to implement those changes in organization by providing training to your employees. That is also a project. And the fourth is create, improve, or fix product, process, or service, that we have already seen in the previous slide, that you are installing a third machine into your manufacturing plant. That is also an example of the project. So these are the four criteria, these are the four different scenarios of starting a project. Okay. So I really request all of you guys to please subscribe to my channel, because it will really help our organizations to grow, and you will be able to automatically receive notification for the coming lectures. So please do subscribe to our channel. Okay, coming to the reason why the projects are closed. The first reason of closing a project is that it has achieved the objective, the purpose, or the output that the project were initiated. They have achieved that. You have installed the third unit and you have achieved that purpose. So you need to close the project. The second is objective will not or cannot be met. Okay. Now, when you started the project, you were very clear about it. Everything was very clear, and you saw that you can easily complete the project, but instantly some circumstances have changed. For example, the COVID-19. If you started the project in the August of the 2019, you are very sure that you will complete the project in the August of 2020, but suddenly in the December of 2019 the COVID-19 came, and everything went into chaos, and you will not your organization adopted the hybrid mode. So that is why you need to you need to close the project, because if you keep stick to the project and keep spending the money, it will just result in the loss. So that is the other scenario. The third, funding is exhausted. You have no more available fund to in your organization. So that is why you also have to close the project. The fourth reason is the need of the project does not exist furthermore. For example, you created a project, you were very sure at the start of the project that this particular product is going to revolutionize the whole market. This new market product will shake the whole market, but instantly after the few months your competitor released a better product. Okay. So that's why your current product that you're working on is no more desirable in the in the market. The fifth one is the human or physical resources are no more available. And sixth one is project terminated due to legal cause. Due to legal cause means that some people some organization have filed a case against you. There is the land you're working on is of is not a valid land. It has some case running on it, so that is the legal scenarios in which the project can be closed. So these are the six different scenarios, reasons why the projects are closed. Everything clear until now? Yeah, I'm sure that most of the people will leave the lecture because learning and working on professional development is a little bit different. You have to be very focused on that. So that's not a issue. But I assure all the guys who are listening to this lecture, they will be benefit. They will get benefit from this lecture. Okay, coming back to the definition of a program. A program is a group of interrelated project. So if you are working on more than one project, so that is a program. So just like I gave you an example of last slide, please explain. Okay, the reasons of closing a project, I already just like reasons of initiating a project, why projects are closed. These are the six different scenarios of closing a project. One scenario is very common, that you started a project and then you achieved the final objective. You completed the output for the project was initiated. So that is a normal scenario. The second scenario is the objective or the product cannot be built. For example, initially you thought that you are going to build a very out of the class product. You will create a very good space shuttle that will go to the Mars and go on a holiday trip to the Mars. So that was your initial objective, but as you started working on that particular product, you realize that your objective is little more ideal. Your objective is out of the world. You cannot achieve that with the resources available. So that is why you uh, you close the project. The third reason is funding is not available. So at the start of the project you have 10 or 15 millions, and you started the project with the assumption that in the next month you will get some money from the customer, and you will keep working on the project, but by the next month you didn't receive that money, and after the 3 or 4 months you still didn't receive the money. So you have to close the project so that you don't spend a lot on the project. Fourth reason is the need does not exist anymore. The customer wanted a product. You conducted a survey, and as per the survey, you found out that the need of the product is a lot in the market, and you started a project. But after a few months, the customer found another alternative of that product, and is not no more interested in your product. That is why you need to close the project. The fifth reason is the human or physical resources are not available. You want to work on some artificial intelligence project in Pakistan, but the relevant resources are not available in Pakistan. You cannot hire expert of artificial intelligence in Pakistan. So that is the constraint of the human resources. So you need to close the project. And the sixth reason is the project is terminated. So legal cause means that someone has filed a case against you, a competitor or enemy of your organization has filed a case against you. So that is another reason of terminating a project. So I think civil engineer, the slide is clear to you. So should I start? Okay. So let's come to the definition of the program. Sometimes it is not possible to achieve the project objective through one project. Okay, you want to build a housing society. That housing society cannot be built by one project. Okay, it's not possible that you initiate a project and you develop the whole housing society by one project. No. So for that you need to create a program. Similarly, if we talk about the poverty alleviation program by the organization, by the governments have poverty alleviation program. In the poverty alleviation program, the main objective or the main agenda of the governments is to reduce the poverty. By reducing the poverty means that increasing the purchasing power of the people. So that cannot be achieved by only one project. So for that, government launches different multiple projects. For example, the one project could be the skill enhancement project. So in that project, the government is providing free of cost skills training to the students. And the second project is the youth loan scheme. The youth loan scheme is basically all those people who have some skill, they can start the small business from the money acquired by the government of organizations, okay, or the government of the country. So these are the different projects that are started by the government, and the main objective of all these projects is same, that is the poverty alleviation or the poverty reduction. These two projects, they are supporting each other because they have the same agenda, they have the same objective, and that is why they are grouped under one program, that is poverty alleviation. Okay, so that is a difference between program and projects. Projects are simple single projects with a single outcomes or output, but programs are with a single so big outcome that the outcome cannot be achieved by a single project. So you have to start multiple parallel project to execute or to achieve that particular objective, such as the polio eradication program. A polio eradication program means that you have to reduce the polio patient in the country, and for that you have to run one project, that is the vaccination program, vaccination project. In that project, the people will go house to house and will vaccinate the small people, small children. And the second project could be the awareness campaign, that the awareness among the people will be increased through social media, through digital media, so that the first project is not should not face any problem. Okay, so these are the two different projects that are run to achieve one objective, that is the polio eradication. The initiation of program is just like initiation of project. Every project and every program has an objective. Okay, it's the size of the objective. If the objective is so big, then you have to initiate a program. If the objective is small, then you have to initiate a project, because you can easily achieve that particular objective from one project. Okay, so there is a change or there is a requirement that need to be achieved. For that you start a project or program. Interrelated project, obviously project, these are the benefits of the program, because if you group the projects under one umbrella, then you can use resources of one project into other project. Okay, so the resources utilization is effective and efficient if they are grouped under a one program. Also the coordination is more easy. Okay, one project can coordinate with other projects. So that is the different benefits of grouping projects into program. Okay, coming to the portfolio definition, portfolio is one step above the program. So you have projects at this stage, you have program on one stage above, and portfolio above all these below level projects and programs. Portfolio is basically the highest level of management. So portfolio is basically are executed or initiated to achieve the strategic objective. Okay, strategic objective means that all those objectives which are achieved in the next 10 to 15 years. So you are aware that the vision 2020 of the Pakistan, every country has devised a vision for the next 20 years or 30 years. So that is the vision of that particular country, and that vision is achieved by the portfolio. Okay, so portfolio basically they are started for the accomplishment of the strategic objective or strategic visions. So those visions are then uh, executed through programs, and those programs include the multiple projects. So this is the hierarchy of the portfolio management. First, you have vision 2020 or vision of next 20 years. These 20 years vision will be accomplished by the portfolio, and then you create that vision into smaller 5 year plan. First 5 years, second 5 year, third year, third 5 year, fourth 5 year. These 5 year, each 5 year will have one program, and each program will have multiple projects. So this is portfolio, program, and project. So for example, your cv or your professional life is a portfolio. Okay, so you might be aware that every time you send your cv to the organization, some organization call it as a resume, some call it as a cv, and some call it as a portfolio. Please share your portfolio. What is a portfolio? You have a life of 25 years or 30 years. So that 30 years life has different degrees. So you have completed a bachelor degree, that is a program. Bachelor degree is not a project. Each bachelor degree has a projects, and that project were the courses. If you completed 30 projects, 30 courses in your bachelor degree, you completed 30 different projects in your degree, and each degree is your program. For example, your bachelor degree is one program, your master degree is your second program. So these two programs are under your portfolio. So this is the one example of understanding the portfolio, program, and projects. Okay, the benefits of portfolios are the achieved to achieve decreased risk. Risk means that the each program have different risk, and when they're collaborated or coordinated in a single way, then the risk is decreased, because it is quite possible that the risk of one program is reduced by the risk of the second program. You have optimized this use of resources, and you have enhanced benefit for the organization. So these are the some benefits of the portfolio. What is a OPM? OPM is basically, it is a framework. Okay, it helps the overall organizations to stay focused on the overall strategy. Okay, this is a framework that helps organizations to stay focused on the overall strategy. So that this definition is not particular very important for the from PMP perspective. So this is the example of OPM. Okay, project management office. What is a project management office? Now we have understood the definition of projects, program, and portfolio. In an organization, it is quite possible that multiple projects are run, and those all those projects are not related to each other. For example, if a company is dealing in the construction field and the IT deal, they might have one project in the construction field, and they might have one project in the IT field. Both these projects are not related to each other, but they must have a standard department in their organization for their coordination of the effort. Okay, that particular department is called project management office. The project management office is basically a department just like a finance department or the procurement department, that centralized or that standardize the project management effort in an organization. Okay, all the project managers in an organization are the part or the member of the PMO office. Okay, if there is a project in the organization, that project must be executed by the PMO office, and the PMO office will be responsible for the assigning of the project manager. He will be assigning responsible for the acquiring of resources from multiple departments, from the finance department, from the procurement department. That coordination will be done by the PMO office. Okay, so there are three types of the PMO: sportive, controlling, and directive. Sportive PMO is these three types of the PMO are basically categorized on the basis of their control in the organization. Okay, if an organization is operational in nature, operational in nature means that the, for example, the banking industry. The banking industry is more about the operational organization. Okay, the operational phases, they are all the day they are all the day they are doing the same work. So in most probably the PMO or department in banking industry is more of the sportive nature, because they have the least control. More control will be to the operational manager, okay, or the operational department, because they have more strength. Their strength is the operational department. Okay, the sportive department is responsible for providing the policies, methodologies. This is they are just providing the template to the project. Okay, so to become a program, yes, Tanvi, it is recommended that for becoming a project program manager, you must be a project manager. Okay, because this is a hierarchy. First, you have a knowledge of projects, and then you have a knowledge of program. Okay, it before the PMI, because the certification of PMI are relatively new, so you might may see some program manager which who have not worked in the program projects environment. That is also quite possible, but the recommended is that first you become a project manager, then you become a program manager, and then as per your experience you become a portfolio. And similarly strategy has been adopted by the PMI. For example, in order to become a project manager certified or PMP certified, you must have 3 years of experience. In order to become a program manager certified, you must have 5 years experience. In order to become a portfolio certified manager, you must have 8 years of experience. So you understand that each level above has more experience, 3, 5, and 8. So that is why you must be have 3 years of experience as a project manager to become a program manager, and you must have 8 years experience of program manager to become a portfolio manager. Okay. The next is the controlling environment, a controlling PMO. A controlling PMO has relatively more power than the sporting PMO. This is type of organization in which both project and operations are important. Okay. So an organization who are extracting revenue from the project department and they are utilizing that revenue in the operational department. It means that both department are important. So in that organization, there is a the PMO must be controlling PMO. Okay, so they have more control. They have more authority. It means that they will be providing you policies with policies, procedures, and all the guidelines. In addition, they will also be exercising some control over the project. They might be demanding some report from the project manager. They might be demanding some fortnight performance evaluation from the project manager, because they have more control, they have more power, decision making authority in the organization. And finally, the directive PMO, they have the maximum control. These are the type of the PMO where the organizations only have the project department. They only execute the project. They have no operational department. So in directive PMO, sorry, in directive PMO, the project management office control everything. They control the hiring of the resources. They control the finances of the project. They control the execution of the project. Everything is controlled by the directive PMO. So that's all for today's lecture, and we'll start from the 21st third slide in the coming session. For that, please note down my WhatsApp number, that is +92 337 4932 829. That's our official WhatsApp number. You can leave your query, and please also share our link channel with your close circle, so that we can generate more subscriber from with your help, and you we can also get more support from you, because we are not getting any fee from you. We are providing this training free of cost, but your little effort can really help us. So please do share our channel, so that we can get more subscribers and we can get more revenue from that.